He needs a big shredder. All right, everybody. At the sound of the yawn, it'll be time to play round 3 of Dragon's Maze pre-release here from Lost Legion Games and Comics. Do not know the deck archetypes just yet, but we'll figure that out as we go along. On the left, we've got Joe Lewis, stream regular. We saw him play American Flash in this week's F&M stream. His opponent is Ryan Bird. Ryan only plays limited anymore. He only comes out for drafts on Thursdays and the pre-releases, and then also he has a cube that he works on. But he is eschewed constructive form. He has a pretty significant work schedule. He just couldn't keep up with F&Ms and whatnot.
Right.
So good to see him out here. He wins the die roll and then starts off with a force. I see Zertos Swine in his hands.
He's going to be flooping the pig.
Floop the pig. Is that from Adventure Time?
Yes. That's the only current TV show I've watched in the past year.
Do you know what this lady is? Zerta. Oh, that's the one that taps for mana and then does 1 damage?
Yep.
That card seems good.
Joe
follows up with...
found some Cup Islands in the...
I used to. There's a period of time when I started playing Magic here like 3 years ago where I could just find Cup Island, or just Zendikar basics.
In the draft lands?
Yeah. I would choose them. And then I would keep them. So he follows up with another one of those guys where if you block, you have to pay 1 and it regenerates. And Joe's playing, is that a Drudge Beetle?
Yes.
Joe, I believe, is on Bug. Joe chose Dimir and got Golgari, I believe. Or he may have chose Golgari and got Dimir, I can't remember which one. And then Ryan is on... What is that even called? Gruel with Black is what we're going to call it. Is that... what's that Dimir creature that Joe played?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a Simic card. Well, it doesn't matter because I think he's going to kill it with the do 3 damage to creature and player.
Beetle Form Mage. It's the Root Walla. Effect gives him +2/+2 and flying.
Oh, he's playing Mark of Mutiny, right?
Yep.
Seems pretty early in the game to be spending your Mark of Mutiny.
They might have multiple Mark of Mutinies.
That's a good pool.
The chat pointing out that Gruel with Black might be called Jund.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's true. I can't argue with that. Who said that second band? And then he takes out the creature with the Drown in Filth, I believe.
Yes.
So this one might be over pretty quickly here. It's my beetle. So Joe's going to cast the other side of that...
Makes him discard the last card.
What's that? Is that Lost and Found? What's that card called? It's the one where you make them discard 2 cards. So he empties his hand out. So Joe, if Joe can stabilize here, he might be able to get back in this one. Although, I mean, you can just tap that. You can just tap that elf down every turn just to ping, right?
Yes.
We'll see if he forgets. Is it a 2/2 base?
It's a 1/1.
1/1.
Yeah, 2 mana 1/1.
Joe tapping out for another 4-drop here. Sluiceway Scorpion. Is that what that is?
Yep.
It's a 1/3 Death Touch, right?
1/3 Death Touch.
With Scavenge. Or is it a 2/2 Death Touch with Scavenge?
It might be a 1/4.
We're very good at this. Why would anyone watch? He forgets to tap it. No, he didn't. Now you remember.
It's a giant Grenadiers. Pretty sure that's a giant Grenadiers hand.
In Ryan's hand?
Yes.
It's a Clan Defiance, isn't it?
Oh. If it is, it's very good because no, it's not because it cannot clear out the 1/4 Space Scorpion.
That's 1/3. We have the math that went wrong, but that is Clan Defiance, right?
Yep. To you and this creature.
Clan Defiance is like one of the best cards you can have in this limited format. Like, it may be the best card. I don't know. Obviously, that's really good too, but. So that one wasn't very competitive. I think we're. Joe was a little bit frustrated, I think, when I asked him to play on camera, but because sometimes the pool just doesn't get there.
Right.
Although that is a crutch that people use often, is to blame their pool for their poor performance. Sometimes it is very literally the fact that you don't, and it's not that you don't open bomb rares, it's sometimes you just need a cohesive number of cards in the right archetype.
And the right colors.
Yeah. I remember when, I know I've whinged about this before, but for the last pre-release, I chose Gruul, and like my best cards were like blue, but there weren't enough to play. There were like 5 good blue cards, and you just struggle to get, enough cards to play in any one archetype.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Cry about it. That's what I did. When in doubt, cry about it. You might notice, Ryan, considerable amount of ink. Ryan's profession, tattoo artist.
Salesman? Ryan's profession?
He's a state senator. No, he runs his own, he does his own tattoo work.
So we're giving him free advertising?
Sure. He does good work. He told me one time, a buddy of his wanted to get some tattoo work done and paid him with magic cards. Just gave him, it's like, he said, I got these old cards, here's my collection, how much work can I get done? And Ryan gave him X.
I came down here to get those Pernicious Deed spells, these agreements, and I looked up what the Starship price was and what the Chain of Fireball buy list was, in case anyone just wanted cash for them. And then I thought, well, you can also trade a pop for one. Because pops here at the store cost $1.50.
I traded one time 2 Thespian stages for a pop. And then the guy who got the pop came back the next week and was mad. Because he's like, those are worth more. And I said, I don't know if you remember how that interaction went. I said, hey, I want these. And you said, how much are they worth? I said, I don't know. And then you said, just buy me a pop. And I said, okay. So at what point in that...
Drew probably chose the beer.
Is the stream locked up, or is it just us?
Looks like the stream has become choppy.
Joe chose, I believe, Simic, and then ended up Bug.
We're good.
And adding insult to injury, Joe's going to have to mull down to 6 here. Looks like Ryan is keeping.
And he's on the play, so...
I'm very surprised that... well, I know it's a very small sample size, and you don't know who he played against. But Ryan's deck has a lot of good cards in it. He played Brett in round 1, and Drew in round 2. The person Drew, he didn't draw in round 2. I also found, I noticed you looking earlier because I have it here on the table in front of us, but had to run random unexpected results in my token box because I had brought that for Max on Friday, and then I had left it at home. I'm thinking about putting this back in my Mimeoplasm EDH deck. Ryan also went back for 6. This card is very fun.
Noting that his secret ally was Batman.
I tweeted that the best secret ally of all, Secret Santa. I believe it's the.
I thought it'd be funny if they did all the secret allies were Demir.
Gotcha. It was a trick.
Everybody gets Demir.
Oh no, Joe mulling to 5. I don't see any land in Ryan's hand. I see a Sylvan Primordial though. Sepulchral Primordial is just an awful word to say. No, he has lands. He has one of each. It feels so like feels like cheating when you like play a 3-color deck and you just naturally go Plains, Mountain, Forest.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get in touch with people starting like tonight about the draft on Friday.
Yes.
Like,
The thing I told you to do last Friday.
I know.
I didn't mention anything about it either, so I'm just guilty.
Oh, I wasn't going to do this. I was boycotting Magic yesterday, and then I just need to do it tonight. Just spam out a list to all the people I know might be willing or available. So Simon Gilgate for Joe on the play. Of course, he did mold a 5. Gary Gilgate for Ryan on the draw. Who's on 6. Oh! Come at me, bro. Dragmangler on curve. On a mold to 5. Pretty good, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like the best thing you can hope for.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily...
Because it gives him 2 cards if that thing dies.
I don't necessarily think of the bug as bug block deck as being beat down, but Dragmangler very good. And Ryan's going to answer it with a Slaughterhorn, which we'll trade with in combat, unless Joe can get rid of it. And he plays that, what'd you say that guy did? It's that same...
That's the Beetle. That is a 2/2 that pumps, gives a +2/+2 flying. It's a very good card.
Do you know what its activation cost is?
3.
And if you can only do it once a turn?
Yes. It is the Root Waller effect. Yeah. Activation cost is 2.
Mm-hmm. So for a blue and a green, he can make that a 4/4 flyer?
Yes. Very good.
Seems good. Seems pretty good. Is that guy an uncommon or what is that guy?
That guy's a common.
Yeah. I like it. Oh, it does cost. It is a 2/2 for 3, so it's balanced at least, you know.
Right.
If it was just a grizzly bear that also did that would be like the best common in the set. It couldn't be a common. So Ryan's going to tap out here for something. It's that, whatever that thing was called.
He plays a Slaughterhorn.
No, the Slaughterhorn was the previous turn. It's the guy that when somebody blocks, it does 1 damage to them, and he can regenerate it for 3. So Joe here down to just 2 cards in hand. Because of them all, he's going to go ahead and pump and get in with his Beetle here. You could attack with both here and trade your Dragmangler and just load up on your guy. That might be a play. Because Ryan can't regenerate here since he's tapped out.
Right.
If he does block, he's going to get in some extra damage because of that card's ability, right? So, pumping his Beetle and serving him with the Dragmangler, he's representing 7 here, right? That Beetle's good. The guy's really good.
Yeah.
He doesn't fly base. You have to pump it to fly.
But even still, in this situation, might not even need to pump it.
I think if I'm... and he adds to the board with... Is that Valroz the Scar Stripes?
Yes.
So, Joe, playing his Maze Runner here. 2/2 gives all the creatures in your graveyard scavenge equal to their casting cost, and you can sack a creature to regenerate him. So next turn, Joe could theoretically sack his Dragmangler, scavenge it onto his other guy.
Yeah. Whenever a card already has scavenge, you get 2 scavenge abilities. So you can pick which one you want to use, which obviously you just use the 3.
Yeah. So did Ryan just like blow himself out there by using the Blood Rush on his Goblin to try and save his dude? No, it's not a blowout. He just had to do that to save it, forcing Joe to sack his Drag Mangler, which Joe was more than happy to do, regenerating his Valros and just taking a 4. And I had the Lactose back with it.
So just reminding everybody, this was a Modify. Pretty good.
So he can pump his guy, scavenge on the Drag Mangler, and attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Isn't that the play? What is this green card that Joe played, or that Ryan played? Do you know?
Golgari Decoy. The guy that lures. Basically like the lure effect. Also not time out, Jordan.
Well, I'm just trying to see why Joe's thinking about this so much. Like, isn't that obviously the play? Is to just pound in with
I don't know what he has in his hand.
Like, does that thing have reach or somehow prevent the beetle from attacking?
I think Joe's... What's the power on the guy in the middle?
3.
So Joe's on a 2-turn clock if he doesn't have a way to deal with this board.
Is that?
It's only 5 creatures, but this is still a very complicated board state.
I think Ryan has madcap skills in his hand. So Joe's just...
That's going to blow Joe out, man. If Joe's leaving back 1 blocker.
What is this thing?
Is this Midnight Recovery?
Just a removal spell, I guess. Does it destroy target multicolored spell?
Also on him. Fatal Fumes. -4, -2 to unattack.
Okay.
Or
Are you
Killing
sure?
Glare.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, it was Killing Glare. That's what they said in the chat. Which is black X. Destroy target creature with power XX. We got it. Thanks again, Chad.
But the way that this board shapes out now, like Joe doesn't have him on any kind of.
You gotta block the decoy.
What?
Sack to make my dude indestructible.
That can't be right, though, is it?
You have to. I mean, the Golgari decoy makes you block.
Oh, it makes you block.
Yeah.
I understand now. So scavenge on 2 power.
And you can also scavenge the Dread Mangler.
Joe is shooing the use of the stream dice.
Well, he didn't bring his own dice for nothing. He brought those bad boys to use them.
An attack for 7, so he's leaving.
That's an attack for 9.
No, just 7.
Oh.
So Ryan not dead on board because he can still chump here. Joe down to 1 card in hand. Ryan with a Gruul Charm in hand, we see. Act of treason, and that's going to be enough, right? Oh, and now the slow roll. It's 9. No, it's 10.
Right. Joe says, okay, you got my dude.
Yeah, Ryan's realizing he doesn't have another red mana
Well,
to
he can
cast.
sacrifice the Volros.
If he
to
sees
itself.
it. If he sees it. He can attack with the Volraz. He can attack with everything he has. Oh, did he just punt that game? Or is Volraz read sacrifice another creature?
It might sacrifice another creature.
But he's still not dead there.
Sacrifice another creature.
Yeah, but he's still not dead. He attacks in for 7 with the Valraz.
And then leaves his dude back to 1.
Yeah. And the next turn wins with Madcap skill. Well, no, we'd have to find a creature, but I think it's a premature scoop.
Yeah, I think he just got mad that he did the math wrong.
Well, he didn't realize he had only one red.
Do you have creatures in his graveyard that he could have scavenged on the Valraz? I think he did.
You sure he did? But he had to have.
Yeah.
So in many ways there was a punt.
Yes.
The main reason he was upset was because the plan he had in place to steal a guy and pump it and win, he didn't have the extra red source he needed to either Blood Rush or play Madcap.
I'm sure he could have played that anything from his graveyard to pump Valraz there.
I mean, I'm trying to think back to see if what he had played in that game and what had been killed. The first creature he played was the Slaughterhorn.
Good as Valraz then. I like it. I like him a lot in these colors because like you get Blood Rush creatures in green.
Oh, we're talking about limited?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I don't think there's any of the Maze Runners I wouldn't play in limited.
Right.
Oh yeah, he had at least the skin blade.
He had no more red though.
He had no more red, yeah.
He only had 1 mountain to play. I'm rooting for a fast game so I can trade with Joe.
So we move into game 3 here. I think it'd be interesting to go back and look at it, but it may not have been an onboard kill that he missed. He may not have had a guy in his bin that he could have scavenged on.
Right.
No, he had that guy, the block deals 1 damage regenerate, but that has red too. But he definitely could have attacked with Valraz, put you low, left the Slaughtered Horn up, and pray to draw something.
Right.
Now, I don't know what Joe's last card was, but if it was a removal spell, that plan wouldn't have worked. Looks like Joe has 1 land in this hand. I think Ryan's still on his shuffling phase. Enter shuffle phase. We're reading more about Valraz.
Yeah, the mana cost is equal to its mana cost.
3 colorless for Skidmark Goblin. It wouldn't be, you don't have to pay its mana cost, but the mana cost for the scavenger is equal to the mana cost. So it would have been 3 colorless.
Is that how that works?
Pretty sure that's how.
Why don't we look it up on Gather and see if that's the case? I think it might just be the exact mana cost.
.wizards.com.
Gather.wizards.com.
I also have been pronouncing his name wrong.
Varals. That's a horrible name. Varals?
He's a troll, he doesn't care.
Display rulings.
This is not always clicked. Including any color requirements. Yep.
Okay. Joe's texting. Joe's also looking it up, I think, on his smartphone.
Is it okay for a dumb guy to have a smartphone?
Well, if not, then I'm breaking so many laws right now.
I'm gonna go pee.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for that. So Garrett going to step out for a second as we pile in here to the third game. The decider of this round 3 matchup, Joe on the draw is going to start adding to the board first with a Drudge Beetle. A 2/1 scavenge guy. Ryan,
Someone else beat.
all right.
Teasing me.
So Joe's serving in for 2, and then playing Varals, the Golgarian Maze Runner that we saw basically win him last game. So Ryan taps out for the green decoy. Joe's going to take care of it with removal spell, then pound in for 4. So Ryan's struggling to add to his board here, but he does have a grip full of gas.
JB is not playing Alec.
So Ryan deals with Varolz, but is still facing.
How did he deal with Balrolls?
I don't know. I can't do it all. He has something.
Oh, that's the -1/-1 counter card, which beats regenerate.
Joe going to hit him with the discard spell as well, and Ryan pitches that Crocodile and Scorchwalker. Yeah, the Scorchwalker, I believe, was the card in his hand last round that I was, or last game, I should say, that I was confusing with Madcap Skills.
Yeah, she does have the putrefy mana.
And Joe adds the beetle back.
I knew a girl one time that had a beetle back.
Oh my! I'm not really sure that's too much of a burn.
I don't even know what that means, but
Yeah, no one does. So Ryan, 4 lands and the Zerta. Is it Elder? Is that the one? Dave Snow. Did you get there?
We got there.
You got there. Is that card's called Zerta Elder? Do you know, Garrett? Or Dave? Now that Dave's here, Dave knows what these cards are. The guy that taps for mana and deals 1 damage.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave, for being here.
Good grief, Dave.
He's an excellent two-headed giant card.
And this has been Two-Headed Giant Pro Tips for Dave Snow.
Gets in for 2.
Zerta Druid.
And then Joe follows up with a... How did he get rid of that stab wound?
It was on a 2/2.
Oh yeah, that's how. Because it kills it.
Yeah.
We're casting a Zertal Swine here.
Lose 1.
Boom. Floop the pig.
Now we can floop all the pigs.
So Joe has a Golgari Clue Stone and a
Beetle.
Drudge Beetle. The Keystone lined up in attack phase.
Thought that was a guy. Looks like a creature from a distance.
Yeah. He's going to add the Scorpion, which I believe is a 2/2 Death Touch.
Right.
So playing basically Return to Ravnica Golgari sealed deck here. And Ryan has the Zertal Swine is 5/4, right?
Yes.
It doesn't trample or anything, it's just 5/4, right?
With a Blood Rush of 3.
It's a very good card in the previous limited environment.
Yep.
Lightning action.
Touch guy.
And he's going to regenerate his creatures with Golgari Charm.
Golgari Charm.
So trade Golgari Charm for
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Which is good in this board state.
Seems fine.
Joe's really on his back feet here.
He does have Clue Stone.
That will, it could be anything. A Clue Stone could literally be anything.
It could be a clue.
It could be another Clue Stone. It could be anything. It's like a taxing probe.
They just modeled Dragon's Mage's thematics off of an episode of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yes.
Serving
Or Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues. The Warrant. the brute. Did you ever watch that show? I watched it like a million times when I was a kid. And that's, what's that one called again? The X spell removal spell from last set.
Which card?
It's pay X, Killing Glare. Killing Glare takes out the Zertos Swine. It's very unsettling that Joe puts that mana rock up there with the dudes, because I'm always like, oh, is that Clan Defiance. Gonna take out the Beetle, do 2 to Joe. So Joe no longer has a threat on board. Seems likely to change. So he taps 4/4. A guy. What is that thing? It's a guy that has Scavenge. It's Trample and Scavenge. Do you know what that is?
What are we talking about? Cards?
Yeah.
Is it mono green?
It's in the new set, I think. You seen that one before? It's Trample and Scavenge, and then in the turn or afterwards, he's going to scavenge his Scorpion onto it.
Looks like Reach and Scavenge.
Reach and Scavenge?
Yep.
And what's its base?
3/3 for 4.
It is a Thrashing Moss Dog?
It is a Plant Hound.
It's a 3/4, you said? So it's now a 5/6. And Ryan follows up with that Brute, whatever that thing is. Rebel Belt Brute, is that what it is? If you block, it does 1 damage to block the player, and you can regenerate.
Oh, the 4/2?
Is it
That's
4?
a Rakdos card.
Yeah, it's a Rakdos card.
I
don't know what it's called. So Joe's going to serve in with his Moss Dog. Ryan is going to dance with the devil.
Is that a card or is...
Well, you're dead to a trick, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
he's playing green, you know?
Yeah.
He's going to mind rot the last 2 cards out of his hand, and then kill something. And that's enough.
Carnage Gladiator.
So Joe Lewis wins the what am I looking for here? The moral victory bracket.
Yeah. But I get a pack bracket.
Thanks for playing bracket. Oh, is he still doing the win a round?
Win a pack whenever you want.
I love that promotion, especially for like the big fields. So that way you at least feel like you've. It's for all the casuals anyway. So, Dave, you missed it earlier when I apparently became impossible for me to come up with red, green, and black is Jund. I called it Gruel with Black. Both are technically correct, but I don't know. What am I supposed to do? So, Dave, you fell in round 2. We saw you win in round 1. You fell in round 2 to the, as you put it, green, white, red, black deck of Joseph Deal. What was he playing that got the better of you? I don't know.
Well, you didn't know Judd. You got to know Nephilim.
I don't know. What was his heavy hitters? Or was it just synergy?
He just had a bunch of big dudes.
He just played all good cards.
Yeah.
That's also a deck I guess you could build.
And in this round you played Jeremy Bales?
Yeah, he was playing Naya.
And he got there.
Yeah, my cards were just better than his.
Well, we've seen some interesting things here. We saw, like I was telling you in the previous round, in round 2, we saw Brett Rose playing Esper, playing against Yin. And Brett won every game that he resolved the Sepulchral Primordial. Turns out to be pretty good.
Pretty standard.
Seems pretty good. I've actually seen a lot of Primordials. Ryan, even though we didn't see it, he has a Silver Primordial in his deck. Which its ability, like, I don't know, after you have 7 mana, ramping 1 is not really that good, but blowing up something nuisance might be fun. But it's also just a 6'8" reach guy. It's pretty good.
He's fine. He can hit a bunch of cards that you have problems with. You don't have to play something like Sundering Growth to deal with like an Assembled Legion.
Well, it's never dead. Like, you can mana screw them, or like I said, like even if you just played as a 6'8" guy, which is fine and limited most of the time, the ability to get some value off of it, it's never dead.
He's good enough. The format seems to have slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, I saw that, not that I'm in any way have my fingers on the pulse of limited, but all the discussion on like Twitter and stuff was that this is the format's going to slow down so much because the Dragon Space cards aren't really good. I don't think. Like I don't know. Like you see most people like playing the cards like from the other sets if they can.
Yeah.
More so than. I mean, there are good cards in them, but I mean, across the board, I think they're a little bit weaker. And yeah, it does slow. There's nothing super aggressive, and you can afford to play 7-drop now and not just be afraid to be dead to Boros in turn 4.
The powerful cards all seem to be uncommon and rares.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is not going to have that kind of impact on limited like the good commons would. What's going on over here? Yeah, Selesnya did the maze thing. I don't understand how. Do you know how that works?
I think they get one step further for every match win they get.
Oh.
I think. We were playing Two-Headed Giant yesterday. Warzone just won in the first round.
Oh.
I was like, oh, well that was fast.
And also fun. And also pointless.
Must have been an easy maze, huh?
Yeah. So Selesnya won the one we're playing yesterday, I believe. Orzhov and Boros won immediately, JB said. Like in the first round as well, because when you have like 46 people, like...
it's done pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know how that works or whatever, but yeah, so we're waiting here. We got about 8 minutes left, and this will be the last round coming up, right? It's just a 4-round tournament.
Right, yeah.
What's been the best card in your deck so far? What's done the most work?
I mean, Boris Reckoner is the best card. I did Armadillo Cloak of Boris Reckoner.
Does that feel like cheating?
He did some work.
You know blocking?
He never got blocked.
Armadillo Cloak in general, like I've already seen it be compared to. I was telling Garrett about it earlier, but it's already getting comparisons in like limited to like Butcher's Cleaver on a Invisible Stalker. Like, does it feel like that, where it's just like I have this now, you probably can't beat it?
You can't race it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to have like a non-qualified removal spell. You basically have to have a black removal spell, or it's just...
Well, the bounce spells work too.
Hey, Joe.
Sorry. That was hot, man.
We saw you win the, we called it the consolation bracket.
The what?
The consolation bracket. The moral victory bracket.
Moral victory bracket, yes it was.
That Varroz or whatever, he does a lot of work.
He does. It's the only reason my deck even halfway functions. No, man.
Oh, well.
All my Drudge Beetles scavenge for 2. Yeah.
Yeah, he has that Scar Stripe guy in his. That's pretty good.
Played him once. Took 12 from it and still got there.
Oh, Dave Snow is just... Dave Snow has protection from... It's all the way in the back, man.
Yeah.
What was that thing dropped even?
Don't know.
You don't know? Boros Reckoner is your best card, clearly. Armadillo Cloak's probably second best to that. But anything surprised you with how good it is? I know this is your second event you played.
I've liked the guy, the Boros guy. He's a 2/2 with haste.
Is it 4/4?
Attacks.
Yeah, we saw Drew Shirt play 2 of those against you in round 1. It seems really, it seems really solid though, especially if you have like a very aggressive deck, like just getting in for 4 to begin with, and then wherever you go from there doesn't really matter. But
he seems like he'll be a pretty strong draft card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you're losing out on a pack of like Sky Knight Legionnaires, so at least you pick up another haste guy.
Yeah. And where he loses in evasion, he gains in. Most times on turn 3, he's either unblockable because they don't have a creature to block, or unblockable because at a 4/4 haste, it's just not a favorable situation for him to block anyway. So, well, that's good. He seemed pretty good. How are those 3/1 flyers working out for you?
There's mediocre as a 3/3 flyer for 5 always is.
You can put a cloak on it.
You can't. That's what I was just thinking earlier. It's like Selesnya doesn't really complement like Armadillo Cloak very well. It's like, I guess you can just put it on a Centaur or something and start getting there. But I guess they do have Sunspire Griffin and
The Chapel guys, yeah. Is it Sunspire Griffin, the 2/3? I just call them all Chapel guys because it's always that 3-mana 2/3 flyer. Chapel guys was really good in that format. Was it Avison?
It's Innistrad.
Innistrad. Yeah, it was really good in that. So, I don't know. Evasion is evasion. You didn't by chance know what's going on in terms of. Why don't you peek out that door and see what we still waiting on matches?
Looks close to done.
Cool.
People crowded around table 1 there, so they must still be playing.
I got no sold on the feature match. You were there, so I'm curious to see who wins these 3-0s because there's a very good chance that the 2 undefeated players will not play on camera, so we'll just have, I don't know, Dave Wong versus somebody. Do you know Dave Wong?
I think I recognize him.
But he's funny because he only comes to like pre-releases and then just wins. Like it must be the name Dave. It must be the.
It helps.
It helps.
It's the guy that if he headbutted you, he'd probably be lethal.
Yes, he has pointy hair. Very pointy hair.
I think I played him at the Avison pre-release.
He's just like really like soft-spoken and just like rolls up in here. He was the only 5-0 yesterday. He lost to Michaels in the final, but like Michael had a draw. Like in the last round, but
I've played him in the finals at another store. He just shows up.
he's very good at limited. And that's the only one he really likes to play, so we do standard all the time. So you gonna start coming out some more standard FNMs or just here and there? You gotta grind those points to get your buys, man. It's harder now.
Already got that one.
You got the one from. You see their changes to the WPN where they're gonna. I don't know. I like it to a certain extent. Like, there's way too many buys at these Grand Prix.
Yeah, it made sense to make trials only worth 2 buys. There's so many more of them now. It used to be like, it was kind of like traveling to a PTQ whenever you play a trial. But now it's just...
Yeah, there's like the 2 neighboring stores we have here, not Hometown, but the other 2 really small stores, like they have trials all the time, and it's just a winner box.
Yeah. I went to one
Like, you shouldn't get anything for that.
GP Portland.
You shouldn't get anything for that. Like, you should be able to have like 1 Grand Prix trial, like, per season or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's
And
no
they should
reason
also
why there should be
not
that
allow
many
East Coast
buys.
stores to have West Coast GPTs.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to determine where your cutoff is, but I mean, I see. Your point is valid in the sense that why are you earning? What used to be, have they always been associated with a specific Grand Prix, or did it used to be like okay?
If I want to trial for Vegas, I'd consider going more.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a corner case. That's a much more
First of all, that's
specific.
Vegas. Second of all, that's going to be one of the best GPs ever.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like I've only ever participated in 1 Grand Prix trial, and it was because I wanted to win the buys for the Grand Prix that I knew I was going to. But like I just don't, like I have no interest in playing just random win a box for.
There's a bunch of East Coast ones coming up. Excited about that.
Like what? What are you target? Is there one in Columbus?
There's a standard in Louisville, and then
That's in the fall.
Grand Prix Louisville?
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that. If you
I'll
wanna go,
probably go. If they're within like 4 hours drive, 4 or 5 hours drive, like.
I'll be there. I think there's one in Detroit. That is,
Detroit, Rock City. I got family in Detroit. That's where my wife's from.
I think it's limited.
I used to have a house up there. Figures when they have the Grand Prix, that's like the year after we sell our house up there. It'd be good. That's,
First world problems.
Huh?
First world problems.
yeah, but I mean, have you looked at how much it costs to buy a house in Detroit?
Like $10,000?
Cheaper than that. Well, that's a garbage. I mean, you don't want that house if it's that cheap.
Right.
But yeah, that'd be cool. Just go up there and like, just split gas. That's your only cost for the entire event.
Yeah.
Cool.
But have to get your cards ready for DC. It's Legacy.
I guess, yeah.
You're shipping to me either way.
I can build whatever. I can build whatever you want to play. It's never a problem. Yeah, I might do that one too. I always like to play in the Legacy one. It's just fun. I always figure I'm drawing dead, and then if anything good happens, it's just gravy, which is like exactly what happened last time. But
There's a bunch of Star Cities coming up too.
yeah. Well, I know they have the one in Columbus and Origins. That one I usually always go to. What do you think about this card? Garrett's all in on this guy. Let me show it to the street.
I always start going on about how bad it is.
I think it's a very bad card, but I think it's got a very good slot in a certain deck.
It's very specific. It's hard for me to get in there, but that's Gaze of Granite.
It's the same thing as a lot of cards that are seen playing standard, like Predators. Predators is standard playable now in one deck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is standard playable in one deck.
He's another bad one.
The Ooze.
The Ooze, yeah.
It's tough to deal with for some decks.
There's so many Azorius charms running around that just make that guy so bad. So you can get in for 3 and then have to draw it again.
In all honesty, like Burning Tree Emissary was a bad card, but it's seen in 10-15% of the decks at a tournament.
Because it is on the other hand a good card.
I mean,
it breaks the rules.
It's free.
It's free.
Free spells are always good.
It wouldn't go good in Naya Ramp, but Naya Blitz, it could. This card is going to slot perfectly into my junk Heartless Summoning deck.
Format broken.
Like, my Heartless Summoning will let me play creatures on a higher mana cost than what you have, and then I can wipe the board of your dudes.
Well, it is worth saying. Pernicious Deed was one of the best cards ever printed. It does an approximation of it, but
I don't think it's comparable. Like you said, I don't think it's comparable to Pernicious Deed. Because
Pernicious Deed probably shouldn't have been a Magic card. Pernicious Deed broke so many rules in terms of why does green-black have an enchantment that wipes the board?
Right.
It's just it didn't make any sense. Were you still playing then? That card's amazing. It was always amazing.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know. They would never print that card now. And it's not necessarily from power level. It just doesn't make sense. You shouldn't have an enchantment that blows up everything.
Right.
It should have been an artifact.
First of all, this is black green. It's not just black green.
That's not inconsequential because those decks usually are more heavily black or heavily green. Well, the junk decks currently, or the reanimator decks and stuff, they're more heavily green than black anyway.
I think it's got a slot in 2 decks. I think it's got a slot in a ramp or a Heartless Summoning deck, and it's also got a slot in black green or junk zombies because a lot of those creatures
come back anyway.
Can't be destroyed or don't mind being destroyed.
What about in Gorgon Tribal? It's on theme. You can play Zathra Gorgon, play that. Vraska's your high end.
The guy with madness?
The guy with madness.
Gorgon? He played this in Modern.
We're just naming all Gorgon. Well, of course it's going to transfer to always port it over to Modern and then also Legacy as well.
I think there's a solid 6 of them.
Just a solid 6. I remember when the Hydras came out, the Hydra for this set, when I got a buddy who, he's actually pretty big in, the Commander community. He's just we're only, 3 playable Hydras away from having a Hydra, EDH deck. Because, right now, there's, like you said, there's just not enough of them. You have to have so many of them before you can fill out a 100-card deck. But getting back to the Legacy Grand Prix you're talking about, when is that, do you know? Mid-year, late in the year?
It's either in October, November, December.
Okay. If you right now, you had to, you're playing the Giant Legacy Tournament tomorrow. You have access to any cards. What does Dave Snow play?
Probably Sneak and Show.
Well, you better hope that I'm not going to that tournament because that's what I play all the time. But yeah, that is my favorite deck by far. Has been for years. I was playing it back when it was not as good because Griselbrand wasn't a card yet, and you just had to sneak attack. Oh, I don't have Emrakul, so I'll put in the Progenitus. But Progenitus actually, at the time I was playing, it was better than Emrakul because Krakus was everywhere because people were playing Maverick.
Right.
That's just my thing with Legacy is you need to be doing the most unfair thing that you can be doing.
Yeah, I have always said that, and it's just I know it's just my personal preference, but I've always been so frustrated with it's inevitable. There's just subset of people that in Legacy and even with Modern, it's you have these abilities to do these degenerate things. You have all these cards been printed for the last 20 years. You can do these amazing things, and they're all I want to do is play turn 1 discard spell into turn 2 fair guy, and then play a Planeswalker and then counter spells back up. Well then play Standard. Why would you Show and Tell's one of the most powerful cards ever printed, and it's legal.
That's what Kineo was streaming Lexi Elves yesterday, and Jan Van Direct was in his chat, So he asked Jan how embarrassed he was that the European GP had 2 copies of Death and Taxes in the top 8.
Yeah, they're just all talking about, like, how did a deck with Flicker Wisp win the Grand Prix? It's well placed. I mean, it's just a metagame call. Like joking about Flicker Wisp is fine, but like that deck doesn't win on the back of Flicker Wisps. It wins on the back of 4 Wastelands, 4 Richard Imports, and 4 Thalias.
Like if that had been Goblins
An Aether Vial.
or Merfolk, it also would have been done very good because I'm sure he won a lot of matches because he had Richard Import and the Wasteland.
So Sneak and Show is number 1. What's your second?
I'd probably say Fair Play John.
Jones? Yeah, I also had that sleeved up for a while. This week we had Legacy on Wednesday. We play Legacy on Wednesdays. I don't know what your schedule's like, but usually it's like me and Garrett. But this week we had 6, and I finally broke down and sleeved up 4 Delver Secrets and played Rug Delver for the first time. I think it's the first time in my life in a competitive match I have cast the card Delver Secrets. So I just played Rug Delver, which is like, I found that like as much as I hate watching Rug Delver on coverage, I think it's the worst. God forbid it's the mirror. Oh my god, it's the worst. But it's very fun to play because you're just constantly making decisions. Like you're always doing something.
Too many references to the Alexander Hayne deck description in the Walking the Plains. What does he say? I come out
said,
like a...
I come out... So, for reference here, in the latest edition of Walking the Plains, which is the Nathan Holt, Sean Kornhauser coverage videos or whatever, which came out like Thursday night, the top 8 of Grand Prix Strasbourg, they do all the intros for all the players, and they had them do them all in their native languages and do captions. The 7th person was Jacob Wilson, who's from California, so he just said it in English, and then the last one was Alexander Hayne, which is from Canada, and he goes, he's playing Rug Delver, he goes, I come out fast like a moose during mating season and build a late game like a beaver building a dam, eh? And then it just says, early pressure, counterspell back up. I just thought so funny, I come out fast like a moose during mating season. This is brilliant. Well, clearly that was written for him by Nathan Holt, because Alexander Hayne is not, well, he seems a perfectly fine gentleman, does not seem to have that kind of comic prowess to be able to come up with the moves during mating season. Yeah, even more than just having 2 copies of Death and Taxes in the top 4. But those kids were on the same team. Like those,
Like if they hadn't
that's the
played
equivalent of like me and you making the top 4 with the
if
same
they hadn't
deck.
played in the mirror match, that probably would have been a D&T final.
It was very well played. Although I did see in one game in the top 8 when Thomas Innevoldsen, who won the thing, he was playing against the Sneak and Show guy that also made top 8, and the guy hit him with Emrakul. He hit him with Emrakul and then Gristlebrand twice, and still lost the game because like there was like a period of like 7 draw steps where he just could not find an answer.
Right.
Plus, like this Death and Taxes deck, which I mean you know full well because you play it and play against my show and tell decks enough to know how to play against them. You've got Phyrexian Revoker.
Right.
You've got Thalia. You've got you've got so many good main board answers to things like that.
Seems like I played standard decks better than this.
Huh?
Like Thalia and Oblivion Ring.
The funny part is,
Well, the Oblivion Ring is a sideboard card in those decks. It's just it's a show and tell card.
just like Goblin Space Angel just did.
Huh?
Seems terrible.
Well, they also play. They also
funny
play
part
because
is-
you can some of them Enlightened Tutor package, so you can get it. It's like it's a very narrow thing, but like I mean the deck's still an Aether Vial deck that plays Stoneforge Mystics and Thalias, and it's just very
Plays
hard for the
Thalia
combo
and
decks
Fort.
to beat the Thalia.
You could probably hate every single card in this deck.
Yeah, because you don't have to play it. Judd has a fair matchup against it, but it also plays Mother of Runes, so like it's just very difficult for. I mean, it just establishes a board state where.
That's Swords of Plowshares.
Huh?
That's Swords of Plowshares.
It's like
I don't think a card is decent.
Aether Vial's a perfectly fair card. Are you saying Stoneforge is any good? He plays Jit. He plays Batterskull.
Might even have a sword.
It just doesn't play. Instead of playing blue cards, it plays like basically land destruction because it plays 4 ports, 4 wastelands. I don't care. I don't like that deck. I mean, it's not a deck I prefer either, but it's very good. But it's one of those things that goes in waves. It's not. It's kind of like Dredge. Like there'll be a period of time where nobody is packing the appropriate sideboard hate for Dredge, and then Dredge runs rampant for like 3 weeks, and then it goes right back. And Death and Tax is the same way.
It's a metagame call. Because like I was gonna say, it loses to standard decks. Like I played against Max's regular aggro deck with my Death and Texas deck, lost like 5-0.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good deck.
No.
It's just very.
You can get blown out with cards where like Ancient Grudge is very tough for it to deal with. Like couldn't be the Sulfur Elemental to save your soul.
No.
Sulfur Elemental.
There's a lot
it's like
of
perfect sideboard card.
There's a lot of decks that run the Enlightened Tutor Dragons for Honor of the Pure because they're so scared to death of Sulfur Elemental.
But Sulfur Elemental is the kind of card that people don't put in their deck unless they know. It's like the 4 Angel of Despair that. Thanks, JB. That Goblins has in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're at table 2.
Table 2.
Uh-huh.